Welcome to Clear News Daily for Saturday, May 2, 2026. Everything you hear is purely news and facts. We share no opinions and pass no judgment of any kind. Today we cover world news, news from the United States, tech and business, sports, and fun news. Let's get started. Now we turn to world news. We have two international stories today, one about the US moving fast to get weapons to allies in the Middle East, and one about a new US threat targeting shipping companies that pay fees to Iran. Arms sales to allies typically go through a congressional review period, but the State Department has the authority to bypass that step in cases of urgency. The move signals how much the US is trying to shore up its partners in the region during an active conflict. Congress may push back on being left out of the process. Iran has been collecting tolls from ships passing through waters it controls in the Gulf region. The U.S. sees these payments as a source of revenue that helps fund Iran's war effort. Shipping companies now face a choice between paying Iran or risking U.S. sanctions, which could reshape global trade routes. Now turning to news from the United States. We have two stories today. One about Spirit Airlines shutting down all flights, and one about a federal court blocking the mailing of abortion medication. Spirit was one of the largest budget airlines in the U.S. and served millions of passengers a year. The airline had been trying to find a buyer or restructure its debt for months. Travelers with Spirit tickets are encouraged to check their options for refunds or rebooking through other carriers. Mifepristone is used in the majority of abortions in the U.S. and has been mailed to patients in many states since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Friday's ruling cuts off that route for people across the country, not just in certain states. Reproductive rights groups said they plan to appeal the decision. Coming up is tech and business news. Today we have two stories about big moves in AI and robotics. Meta buying a humanoid robot startup, and a new $10 billion fund to build the physical systems that AI needs to run. Meta has been expanding its AI efforts, and this acquisition marks its first big push into physical robotics. Humanoid robots that can navigate real environments are seen as the next major frontier in AI. By opening the technology to the broader industry, Meta is taking a different path than Tesla, which keeps its Optimus robot in-house. Data centers and the power needed to run them have become a critical bottleneck as AI adoption grows. KKR is one of the world's largest private equity firms, and this is one of its biggest bets on AI infrastructure. Selipsky spent years building AWS into the world's dominant cloud platform, making him a high-profile choice to lead Helix. Now for sports. Today we have two stories. One from the Kentucky Derby, where a late-charging horse just claimed the first leg of the Triple Crown, and one from the NBA playoffs, where the Knicks put up a record-setting win over Atlanta. The Kentucky Derby is the first of three races that make up the Triple Crown, followed by the Preakness Stakes and the Belmont Stakes. Golden Tempo came from behind in the final stretch to claim the win, a finish that already has fans and bettors talking about a possible Triple Crown run. The Preakness is held in Baltimore in 2 weeks. The 51-point margin of victory is the largest in Knicks postseason history. New York looked dominant throughout Game 6 and now wait to see who they face next. The Celtics and 76ers play a deciding Game 7 on Saturday, making it a high-stakes finish to the first round in the East. Here is a quick recap of everything we just covered. In world news, the U.S. fast-tracked nearly $9 billion in arms to Middle East allies, and threatened sanctions on ships that pay Iran. In the United States, Spirit Airlines shut down all flights, and a federal court blocked the mailing of abortion medication. In tech and business, Meta bought a robotics startup, and KKR raised $10 billion to build AI infrastructure. In sports, Golden Tempo won the Kentucky Derby, and the Knicks crushed Atlanta to move on in the playoffs. And here are some other stories making news today. President Trump told Congress the Iran war is over and he does not need their approval to keep troops in the region. Plans for Trump's Garden of Heroes are growing in scope and cost. Elon Musk clashed with OpenAI's lawyers on day 3 of his testimony. The Rockets host the Lakers in Game 6 tonight. The Devil Wears Prada 2 opened to $32 million on its first day. NBC cancelled Brilliant Minds and Stumble after one season each. And Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci got their Hollywood Walk of Fame stars the day before their sequel opened. And that is a look at some of the other stories making news today. And now for some fun news. Timmy the humpback whale was released safely into the North Sea after weeks near the German coast, a happy ending for one of the best whale rescue stories in recent memory. A robot rode a commercial flight in California with its own seat, drawing plenty of curious looks. In San Francisco, people are hunting for buried cash by solving riddles around the city. In Sydney, a Jack Russell Terrier named Elby was rescued from a high-rise ledge after 2 days outside. In Italy, a tortoise shut down a street by refusing to move. And a dog in Oregon figured out how to ring a doorbell to let itself back inside. And that is your fun news for today. Thank you for watching Clear News Daily for Saturday, May 2, 2026. These summaries are shared for awareness to help you stay connected with what is happening around the world. Everything you heard today is purely news and facts with no opinions or judgments. Stay curious and stay informed. We will see you next time. That is a wrap for today. If you found these headlines useful, please like this video and subscribe to Clear News Daily for fresh headlines every day. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.